Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just to report out, our president, Vina Paramo, could not be here tonight, as well as board member Susan King. Entertain a motion to approve inter-district transfers 1 through 6 and 8 through 16, and pulling item number 7.
So I move to approve interdistrict transfer 1 through 6, 8 through 16, and pulling item 7 of interdistrict transfers.
I second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and like this, once again, good evening. We'll go ahead and move on to introduction of new staff.
Why don't we start with Del Rey?
Good evening, everyone. I have some wonderful staff members to introduce you to you tonight. Hopefully they're out there in that sea of people, so please stand when I call your name. First of all, we have Amy Bowen, my new vice principal, Del Rey's new vice principal. I have seen Yoslyn Gonzalez. Please stand up. She is our combination first, second, and third grade SDC teacher. What about Ashley Andrew? All right, she was invited tonight. She's returned to Del Rey to teach first grade. Stephanie Delgado. All right, she's teaching second grade this year. And our last teacher is Natalie Campos, a TK teacher. Natalie, are you here? All right, thank you very much.
Next, we'll have KCAM.
Good evening and welcome, everybody. We have one new teacher to the district at KCAM this year. This is Kelsey Gonzalez. Welcome, Kelsey. Kelsey comes to us from Long Beach, where she earned her undergraduate and did her student teaching. When we called on her references, the person that she worked with, her master teacher, said that she was the best one he's ever worked with. And we're like, sold, let's get her assigned right now. So she's a part of our 5th grade team. She's doing a great job with the 5th grade team, and we're super happy to have her at KCAM. Welcome.
And Santa Lucia Elementary.
Good evening. I think we have one of the 3 that could join us tonight. 4, right? So here tonight is Sophia Roa, and she is in the back somewhere. She comes from, just graduated from CSUMB, where she received her bachelor's credentials and BCLAD, and she teaches DLI Kinder for us, and she's already just shown so much, and our kids already love her. We also have Vanessa Wheeler, who is a 3rd grade teacher. She's not here tonight, could not be here. Mariana Alvarez, DLI 2nd, and Andrea Martinez, who teaches DLI 2nd as well. And 2 of our candidates, Andrea and Vanessa, are Alder candidates that joined our district. So welcome them.
Shalom Peaks.
Good evening. I'm Angel Reed, the principal at Shalom Peaks Middle School, and I am accompanied by Ms. Baltazar, my assistant principal of curriculum and instruction, and Ms. Henson, who is my assistant principal of student services. We're super excited. We have one of the shortest lists of new teachers this year because we're building that consistency and continuity. So I would like to have you stand up, please, when I call your name. Ms. Katie Torres is joining us for 6th grade. Thank you, Katie. And Miss Starla Reynolds is joining us for an SDC classroom. And then technically joining the King City Union School District side had been on our campus as a contracted employee, Miss Ariel Henry, an RSP teacher. Not able to join us tonight is Miss Myra Sanchez, a new counselor on our campus, but she was not able to attend. Thank you.
And Director Kristen Pantaleon.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce the newest member to our instructional coach team, Miss Valerie Rubo.
So for those who do not know, as part of the board, we also want to introduce all of you. For those who do not know, our interim superintendent we have Miss Audra Carr. This is her first board meeting of the year. So of course, we wish her all the best. This is a very, very hard and difficult time that she is coming in as part of our district. Of course, she was our previous director as well. It's a very crucial time, and we greatly appreciate her willingness to take the step and lead the district for whatever is coming our way. We shall know in November. More to follow on that in board comments. With that being said, if there's no more
We have one more.
introductions- Yes.
Arlen.
Oh, my goodness. My apologies. No, what does her sign say on the thing? I'm kind of important, is what your desk says. Yeah, I'm a big deal. Yes, you are. So Arlen is our new executive assistant for the superintendent. She's been amazing. Yes. Again, everybody's still learning, but again, we appreciate the willingness and the heart and the drive and the passion, determination to learn the new field. So again, congratulations to everybody. Welcome aboard. And we'll go ahead now, move on forward if there's no more introductions. Sorry about that, Arlen. You Starbucks, Dutch Bros. Starbucks. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next presentation. Will be a summer program update. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Before we move on, you could wait right there, Patty. Before we move on, we did make a motion earlier tonight, so I just want to make everybody aware. We had a couple of items from our consent agenda. If you have your consent agenda with you, we moved consent agenda item 12, 13, and 16 into action items E, F, and G. Again, from consent agenda, we moved 12, 13, and 16, and that will be part of our action items. Okay, sorry about that. Go ahead. You can continue. Me? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sorry. I had some technical difficulties, so there'll be no slides at the moment. I'm basically going to be talking about the summer club program. That would be more the teacher-led clubs. We had a total of 182 students go between the elementary and CPMS. We had 116 students at CPMS and 66 students from the elementary. While we're there at CPMS, they had things were done a little bit different this year at CPMS. They had 3 periods where they would rotate between a couple different classes. They also had SLIC and the Summer Bridge program running, including Pro Youth and the Migrant program running on campus. At the elementaries, we had the regular clubs. We had the 66 students, and they would stay in the same classroom with them both being there. The youth project would bus students in the morning from the fairgrounds to the school sites if the parents wanted them to go to summer school, so they were able to work together to be able to go to all of our programs that we had. They would go to there, and then they would get picked up also from them, and then they would go back and finish their day there. So a lot of our students did one of our partner programs, whether it be Migrant, whether it be Pro Youth, the Youth Project, or First Tee. They also were in that, and our kids got a full summer of all this, and you'll see other presentations with all of our partners and third parties. That's it for me.
All right, like this will. One more? All right. Oh, okay. Well, you didn't introduce the next people.
Yes, we're part two. So good evening, everyone. My name is Marie Pinto. I am the CEO for Pro Youth.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Serena. I'm the CEO for the Youth Project.
You're fine. Pro Youth has had the privilege of partnering with King City Union School District in their expanded learning program for over 10 years. We are the co-applicants for their ACES programs, and we have provided program for over 6,000 students and served 500,000 meals throughout the years. We're privileged to be partners with the district.
The Youth Project is a King City-based 501c3 that partnered with the school district this year to operate an ELOP summer program and hopefully an after-school program this school year. This past summer, the Youth Project served 402 in-district King City Union School District students across 6,802 check-ins with a median of 17 days per child, which is above the federal 21st Century Community Learning Center's benchmark of 15.
In collaboration with KCUSD, the Youth Project, and all of our partners, we are able to offer depth and access to many opportunities, including teacher-led clubs, community-based programs, academic support, and standard-based enrichment program. Program runs Monday through Friday from the time school gets out till 6 p.m. for all 180 days of the school year, as well as a full-day program for the 30 days of intersession during spring, summer, fall, and winter.
In the summer of 2026, Pro Youth and the Youth Project combined to serve more than 750 students in programming that included teacher-led clubs, enrichment, and field trips. The Youth Project transported campers between camp and teacher-led clubs to keep kids connected to all of it.
We are all partners for KCUSD's expanded learning program. KCUSD, Pro Youth, and the Youth Project work together seamlessly to provide rich offerings of enrichment for every student, from academic support and teacher-led clubs to STEM and athletics and character development.
Teacher clubs, Pro Youth, and the Youth Project are fully integrated, shared students, shared daily schedule, and one coordinated experience for families. Together, we provide enriching, exceptional programs for all students who want and need access to after-school programs.
The community has come to depend on the King City Union Expanded Learning Program to provide a safe and nurturing place for our children to learn, grow, and have fun. Together, the district's teacher-led clubs, Pro Youth, and the Youth Project, each partner plays an integral role of providing a high-quality expanded learning program to the students in KCUSD. Pro Youth and the Youth Project are honored to play their part. And so we're going to give you some numbers and some info from our summer program.
Slide.
You're up. Right there.
First of all, thank you to the board. We sat with King City Union School District and made the case for the Youth Project and what we could deliver. The district signed a contract for 275 in-district seats with a not-to-exceed clause allowing 10% overage. We hit the base, we hit the overage, community demand kept coming. We returned to the King City Union School District Board and requested an amendment to 400 seats. The board approved. Even at 400, community demand outran that projection. 440 families registered. Of those, 402 in-district children showed up and attended across 6,802 check-ins and a median attendance of 17 days. California codified expanded learning attendance reporting for the first time this year through CalPADS. The state defines 1 day of attendance as the amount of time on a single day that requires districts to report enrolled, never attended children as 0-day students. Of the 440 who registered, 38 were held on the wait list by the 400-seat contract cap and never received a seat. Those 38 are what CalPADS will show as enrolled, never attended. King City Union School District will submit 402 attended, 38 enrolled, never attended, waitlisted, median of 17 days. Because ELOP is a first-year reporting with no historical benchmark, the only external yardstick that exists for our summer program is the federal 21st Century Community Learning Center's median of 15 days. South County kids exceeded that. The family response was decisive. 90% of our surveyed parents rated the camp as excellent, 10% good, and 93% told us they want to continue with us into an after-school program. 57% asked to be contacted the moment after-school programming opens in 26-27. This deck presents the wins and in plain terms, then does the harder work of naming what we found was broken and the measures the Youth Project has already taken across all programs. Slide. Again, this is our attendance data. 402 kids came to the program across 6,802 check-ins. That's 17 median days per child. 90% rated the program excellent. 93% would like to return, and we had 38 kids that ended up being waitlisted. Slide. Again, this is a slide just kind of recapping the base contract of 275, the 10% to not exceed, the board amendment, how many registered in the community, and how many we served. Slide. These are the survey results. 90% of the parents that were surveyed and what they found that they loved about the program. 71% loved sports, 69% loved field trips, 41% new friends, 41% STEAM, 31% a safe environment, and 16% loved arts and music. Slide. Again, this is a slide just reflecting the families that wish to enroll in the Youth Project as an after-school program, should we be granted the after-school program. Slide. Slide. One of the things that we're really proud of is integrating mental health into our program. Any participant in our program was able to have their family fill out a consent form and have their child seen with our AMFT. We employed an LMFT and an AMFT as part of our program, and every child who needed mental health services had the opportunity to do that. Slide. Lauren did an amazing job with this. I'm really proud of this because it's something that if you look at the numbers, we struggle in this county with mental health. There's a mental health crisis in the state of California, hence the CYBHI plan. And if you look at child psychiatrists that are available and therapists available in our county, the numbers are 13. We have 10 per our 100,000. In the state, it's 17. And our participants, the district's kids, were able to receive mental health services for free. That's access, and that's a credit to this board for approving the contract with the mental health component into it. Slide. What we got right, program delivery, that held. 440 families registered, 402 unique to the district. Program delivery specialists, parents on more than one occasion singled out. We have a whole bunch of emails that didn't really want to share a lot of this stuff that parents, because they asked us not to, but I'll share one story that's not on here. We had one of our participants over the summer that on the bus ride to a field trip, they got sick, and the parent sent an email to us to let us know that one of our staff members out of his own pocket went and bought the kid a change of clothes and wouldn't let the parent reimburse him. That's just a level of care that I would hope you see in what our staff is doing and what we're all trying to accomplish here. Sports and field trips, that landed as one of the top things with the program. Hey, I'm a big believer in giving kids opportunities outside of their neighborhood. I think if we're going to break any of the cycles that we all say we're going to break, which is in youth violence, we have to give kids opportunities outside their neighborhood. They have to see what's going on outside of their community. Bilingual reach across both language communities, family communication, daily check-ins, pickup, drop-off, ran in English and Spanish across every site. Slide. Again, this is more of the stuff that we collected from our survey. Here's some quotes from parents. Slide. So our scaffold, belonging and relationships, well-being and resilience, skill building and growth, leadership and contribution was delivered via STEAM, athletics, academic enrichment, leadership development, mental health services, and teacher integration. We were really fortunate to have a lot of teachers who participated in our field trips, and we're very appreciative of that. Slide. And what we learned from what we got wrong. Every operational program has failure modes, and our willingness to name ours, I think, in front of the board is what makes us a little bit different. You're going to have operational failures. It's a life lesson. It's not what happens when adversity strikes, but it's how you adapt and how you deal with adversity and what does happen. Slide. Pre-camp family orientation. compressed runway between contract approval and day one. It just didn't leave a lot of room for us to put a full family orientation out there, which we've already developed a handbook for that. And moving forward, every family who signs up for a Youth Project program will get the full family handbook. Schedule and communication. It took us as an organization a couple of days to get our feet under us with Kid Check. And once we got Kid Check rolled out, we were able to, on a daily basis and nightly basis, communicate with parents on what the upcoming activities for the next day were. They really appreciated that. Next. Meal service quality. We'd love to work with the district moving forward on that. It just, hey, hats off to food service for all the stuff that they try to do to prepare meals for all the kids that were participating in summer activities. But we'd like to, I think we'd like to have a further discussion. Shall we be selected with the district on how we can all help to improve the food service on what our kids are getting on a daily basis, especially for a 10-hour day. Dr. Ruby, she had mentioned that too, that she was kind of like it didn't hit her that it was going to be a 10-hour day and we needed to get kind of protein and stuff for the kids too. So I think moving forward, that's something that we've highlighted and we'd like to have an ongoing conversation with. Slide. So, we definitely would like to be renewed. We feel that we made a great impact over the course of the summer. Families that are surveyed want to continue with us. We love the district as a partner and, we look forward to opportunities moving forward. Slide. Done?
You're done.
I tried to blow through that, man.
She tried to blow through that. I'll go fast, I promise. I'm just going to kind of piggyback on a couple more. Sorry, we're on the other one. Yep, it's the other one, the colorful one. I'll go really fast, I promise. Slide, you're gonna. Just a couple of highlights. I won't take much more time. Pro Youth did the school-based program. Our summer program was based on Santa Lucia and Chalone Peaks. This is an example of the full day schedule. I want to point out that there are different curriculum times. This allows for the children to have multiple opportunities in taking different enrichment clubs and academic support. It also allows us to do the pullouts for the teacher-led clubs. So this is the sample schedule slide. Santa Lucia had 275 students, which exceeded our projection of 200 students. Chalone Peaks had an enrollment of 68. We had 90% attendance for both sites with some multiple drop-ins for meal service at both sites. Slide. This shows the enrichment clubs that we provided. We tried to balance between academics and enrichment, also with some outdoor activities that we tend to do in the morning when weather is better, and then some indoor activities when weather is a little warmer and inclement weather. Slide. And just some highlights from our field trip. We were fortunate to be able to tag team on some of our field trips. The students, as Jeremy was saying, love the field trips, love the opportunity of being able to go places that they've never seen and experience things that we have the opportunity to give them. So slide. One of the next one was the Central Coast Zoo. There's a quote from one of the students said that was the best zoo ever. And so we were thrilled to be able to take them. They learned about zoos. They saw animals that they had never seen before and got to experience that. Slide. Monterey Bay Aquarium. Slide. And got to see fish that they had never seen and got to go to the coast. They got to see the beach. Some had never seen the beach before. And this little girl, Estrella, got to see a turtle, which she was excited to see. And finally, slide, was career day for the soccer career day. Our students were over the moon with this field trip. All of our students are huge soccer fans. And so we're excited to meet professional soccer players, kick the ball around. to the next one. Kicked the ball around. They were having a good time yellow carding all of their program leaders, and one of them, the goalie actually gave his gloves to one of our students who happens to be a goalie. And so she was over the moon in the fact that she now has goalie gloves. So we are thrilled to be able to offer summer program again. We are thrilled that we can provide opportunities for our students during the summer when we know that their families are working and they don't have a place to be. And we can provide that safe place for them to be. So thank you very much. Any questions regarding summer?
I think we'll be having some of our questions during our action items. So if you can just be ready for that.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone else part of the summer program updates before I move on? No? Okay. So like this, we'll go ahead and move on to our public comment. This is the time for someone to speak on something that's not on tonight's agenda. So right now I have one here for Samantha Salmon. I have a Samantha.
That's for an agenda item, sorry.
For
Samantha, is that what for, on the block of interest that for non-agenda items, what I want to talk about is agenda items,
okay, so through the agenda. Okay.
Good afternoon, board. My name is Delilah Reyes, and this summer I worked as a recreation staff alongside the Youth Project program. I am here to share my experience and explain why I do not support additional funding for Youth Project or its expansion into our schools. Before I begin, I want to clarify the role of recreation staff. It was repeatedly emphasized to us by both
Give
Youth
me
Project.
one moment.
Oh,
So that is part of our agenda tonight. It'll be an action, sorry to cut you off there.
it's okay.
It's part of our action items. So if you want to go ahead and hold off, and when we get to the action item part of it, you can go ahead and speak on your behalf on that.
That's
Is there
later on.
anything else? That will be after, yeah, there's a couple more items before that.
Okay, that's
But, and then you can go ahead and address your point at that time. Thank you. Again, anybody else that has a comment on something that is not on tonight's agenda? Go ahead. It's still part of it, but thank you. Anyone else? Yeah. So again, that's part of the action items. There'll be action items E through G. All right, so if there's no other public comments, we'll go ahead and move on to superintendent's report.
Good evening. So this month, we started back to school, and on August 5th, we had our Staff Welcome Back Day, where we had a theme of making an impact. We also discussed our district priorities of math growth, English language learners' academic success, and improving writing instruction at all grade levels. We also had back to school night for both elementary and middle schools, and they were very successful nights where they were well attended and helped our schools get off to a great start. We had our math pilot kickoff training just this last week, and the first pilot started yesterday with the teachers receiving the materials to use for instruction for the next, I believe it's 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll go through to fall break. The elementary is piloting Thinking Math by InnovaMath, modeled after the Building Thinking Classrooms. And the middle school is piloting STEM Scopes Math. In October, they will both begin piloting Envision Math. There's a lot of excitement with the team to finally be able to use a math program that structures core instruction to align with the new California math framework. Also, we have our Golden Ticket Reading Incentive Program sponsored by Taylor Farms. We started our agreement to work with Taylor Farms in this program last year, where they identified third grade students who take the CASP test for the first time and meet or exceed standard, scoring a score of 3 or 4 on the CASP test as third graders. And we are going to be able to recognize, now that they're fourth graders, they are going to be rewarded with a certificate and $250. This will be the first year that they're getting these rewards. And our results are, we have Delray had 26 third grade students, KCAM had 11 third grade students, and Santa Lucia had 15. We also submitted our final LCAP revisions on Thursday afternoon to MCOE, and we should be hearing about final approval in early September. This will be the final year of this adopted LCAP, and we will start our work this year on our new 3-year LCAP that will be adopted in June. The ELAC and school site council training for all sites will take place on September 3rd. This is where the school site council and ELAC members from each site attend a training on why we have these committees and how the meetings are run. They will then set their site meeting schedule for the year at the meeting and submit those dates to be entered on the district website to keep the community informed about those meetings. Just a reminder that those site meetings are also open to everyone, and you do not need to be a member of the committee to attend and share your input. So everyone is welcome. We have flown an interim director of curriculum position to backfill my former position. If we find a qualified candidate, we will hold off on filling the ed service, or filling, sorry, the ed services coordinator position that is on the consent agenda for today. On September 8th, we will be having our mandatory staff development day. We're working on professional development for elementary grades around writing and ELD strategies. And the middle school will also be receiving professional development in ELD, supporting multilingual learners across all disciplines, as well as math and writing to align with our district priorities. Today, I received notification from the county that our official Williams compliance visits will take place on August 27th for Delray, KCAM, and Shalom Peaks. Additionally, I want to bring to your attention that we received a late submission letter today in support of consent agenda item 13 that's now been moved to the action item from Monterey County Board of Supervisors, Chris Lopez. I've shared the letter with all trustees and it's been linked in the agenda, and we also have physical copies for all the trustees and for the public on the back table at the agendas. And that's it for today.
Any questions or comments for the superintendent? All right. Congratulations to our sites. Just real quick on those, Delray, KCAM. How much was it for Delray? 26?
Yes.
Amazing. Good job. Good job, everybody. No questions or comments. We'll go ahead and move on to our reports from administrators. Any questions or comments for any of our administrators? No? Say it now, forever hold your peace. All right. Just really quick on my behalf, Mr. Daniels, just I was happy to see that you're currently fully staffed. Where are you? Where you go? He's not here.
He's not here.
That's you. No, just kidding. Excuse me. All right. Also, but I did see a notation here that all of the campuses have it. First time SDC classroom at KCAM. So everything going good on that?
It is going wonderfully well. We've had, they've been in school. They had their meet and greet because they're TK and K. They had their meet and greet on the first day of school that Thursday. Then they came on Friday. And then today's my first day I'm wearing real shoes and not tennis shoes. But I haven't needed them. It's been great. We have a wonderful teacher. We have 3 fantastic paras that are in that class, and the students are doing a great job. The families have adjusted very nicely to our school, and we've started a new procedure where parents drop off their children at the gate, and for our SDC class, we do have the SDC paras that meet them at the gate and take the kids to their classroom, and it's going very, very well. Going fantastic. We're happy to have them.
Thank you. All right, if there is no other questions or comments for administrators, go ahead and move on to our consent agenda. Questions or comments? No? Okay.
Want my motion?
Make a motion, sir.
Do you want me to restate what we?
Sure.
All right. So I move to approve the consent agenda with moving consent agenda items 12, 13, and 16 to action items.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, and I guess we'll go ahead and move on to our information item. We have our CSBA board policy updates, first reading.
We don't typically talk about this, so essentially you have before you the items for your first read. And if you have any questions about any of those items for our directors.
These are just normal updates, right? And then next board meeting, we'll do the second reading, and then we'll adopt.
Correct. Unless you don't have a problem with it, then you can adopt. So it's all led by you guys. You have the opportunity to first read any changes or updates or questions and concerns. Then we can come back after any of those changes have happened for a second read. And at that time, you can go through the same process, or at any time during the process, you can except it's on information right now. So it has to be on action, but yeah, once we get it on action, then we can do it.
Well, can we bring them back for next board meeting for adoption? Are we planning to make any changes to the CSBA?
I don't see personally the need to change for these policies. So we could put it, to go ahead and put it in our action items for our
next
next
time.
meeting. Okay, again, previously we had also moved, because it was put by mistake, the summer program update, so that was put up into presentation. So we'll go ahead and move on forward to our action items. So action item A, this is going into public hearing for Williams sufficiency of instructional materials. Now 7:15 p.m.
That one would be me. So the first one, action A, is basically just a notice that there's a hearing that this is what will be happening today, to share that we are in compliance with the Williams sufficiency of instructional materials and the notice of the public hearing that was posted in the timely manner. And so the document is attached in the agenda, and then you'll review it, but it's basically showing what curriculum we have adopted for the year, and that everybody has their curriculum. And then we meet the requirements. And then B is the resolution where you sign off on that.
If no questions or comments for this public hearing, we'll go ahead and close it. And we'll move on to action item B, approval of resolution 2627-02, Williams resolution.
I move to approve action item B, approval of resolution 2026-27-02, Williams resolution.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to action item C, approval of resolution 2627-03, authorized signers for financial institution accounts.
This is basically just for you to add me as a signer, now that I am in the position of interim superintendent, to sign on contracts and payments and things like that with the bank.
If no questions or comments, ask for a motion for approval of action item C.
I move to approve action item C, approval of resolution 2026-27-03, authorized signers for financial institution accounts.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Action item D, approval of resolution 2627-04, authorized designating an authorized agent to sign school orders.
Pretty much the same thing, just not with the bank. It's to sign any agreements that we come to, contracts and agreements with other agencies.
No questions or comments? Entertain a motion for action item D.
Move to approve action item D, approve a resolution 2026-27-04, authorize designating authorized agent to sign school orders.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Moving on to action item E is the pro-youth agreement. Questions or comments from the board or members in regards to action item E, pro-youth agreement?
I'll start it and then obviously Dr. Pinto can answer questions. Okay, for your approval this evening, we have the pro-youth contract for the school year and the intercession as well.
So are you opening it up for questions? Okay, so I just have a couple quick questions. One of my questions right now is for our CPMS what are our current enrollment for the programs?
I actually got updated numbers today. At Santa Lucia is at 184. 184 with 23 on a wait list. Del Rey is at 128 with 21 on a wait list. KCAM is at 115 with 7 on a wait list. And Shalom Peaks is at 66 with none on a wait list. We had 3 new hires that started Monday, and we have 3 that are onboarding this week. So those 3 should take all of those waitlist students, and so there should be none on a wait list after all of those students are onboarded.
And then Dr. Ruby, would this incur an extra cost with the numbers that are currently projected on the contract?
Yes, if we get approval tonight, we will have to put in for an extension. The idea is though, when we open our teacher-led clubs, if we were to partner, we want to see what the shift is in the numbers.
Okay, yeah, because on the contract is showing for CPMS 60 students, Del Rey, KCAM, and San Lucia a total of 100 students. So then the contract would essentially, with the numbers that we currently have, would be.
So she built those on our previous projections that we had in January. The contract is built around what we're currently asking for. And if we hope to have multiple programs, students will be shifted around to different programming.
So this is based on last year's projection. And when did the contract come up?
We started negotiations in January, so we were given projected numbers in January. Those projected numbers, Santa Lucia was at 190, Del Rey was at 116, and KCAM, I believe, was at 110, and Shalom Peaks was at 80. And so those were projected numbers. And so, however, then we were asked then to reduce those, but we had already submitted the contract. So depending on what happens here, then adjustments will need to be made either to that contract or students will then need to be moved to different programs.
Okay, and then from the 66 that are currently enrolled in CPMS, what's the current amount of students attending? Do we know?
Right now, we're at an 87% attendance rate. I mean, but they've been there a week, so right now we're at 87%.
Okay.
As of Friday.
I'm sorry, how many were at Del Rey? I didn't catch that one.
Current,
Correct.
Del Rey's 122.
122.
Oh, 128, I'm sorry, 128.
Dr. Ruby, So one of my concerns and that I have is having multiple programs going at a time with dual, overlapping enrollment and all that good stuff. So I think that is one of my concerns, having multiple programs. I just want to put that out clearly, that is one of my concerns, having multiple programs, just because of the logistics that it entails having so many programs. And then we have teacher-led clubs, we have a bunch of things that go on there. So for me, that's kind of where it's hitting me right now. Where I'm trying to have, and I think it's something that it's kind of hard for me to make any type of decision today, just in the sense that I think there should be a study session in regards to what we currently have and what works and what's not working. We've had the after-school program for a couple of years. I think we should also start polling our parents and our teachers and our students in regards to what works and what's not working, what is that they prefer, and what is it that they want. I know that we did so I'm just gonna talk about Pro Youth because that's the other one, the other visit that was on the other one. So I know that when we met back in the beginning of this year, we talked about adjusting our curriculum to meet certain students. I'm not sure if it was adjusted, but I know we did a walkthrough to CPMS, and that day we only saw about 15, 20 kids. So our enrollment with CPMS has been low. And my concern is that what is it that we can do to provide for our students at CPMS, who is the target, who we really want in an after-school program? So for me, it's right now is seeing we have 66 enrolled, 87%. I'm really interested in seeing, and I don't know if our site admin have any knowledge of how many have been showing up to the after-school program, but for me, it's really CPMS is one of my target for the after-school. And so those are kind of where I'm with my concerns at this point. And let me refresh my mind in the meantime. If anybody has anything, you guys are more than welcome to chime in.
Yes, so really quick, Dr. Ruby, just for clarification, according to the contract, it says the district will provide a school representative as the on-site contact during the hours of operation, program operation. Who is our district school representative?
Normally, it's the assistant principal who is there. We also have a site custodian there, and there is usually somebody at the district office, but we are there until 6 o'clock. Normally, there is someone on site. The custodians are usually there. There is usually a site secretary there. There's a nurse usually there until about 4:30, but normally there is some type of administrator there. Majority of program.
I think, and I actually want to chime in on that, because that was actually one of my questions, and it has been one of my concerns, that we do not have anybody available for our ELOP, whether it's ELOP or for Pro Youth. I don't think, and teachers can correct me, the ones who have teacher-led clubs, but I think it's just the site reps who are, or the teachers or the Pro Youth staff who are there on site with no, which is a concern that we have brought up, that there hasn't been nobody to oversee them while they're on program. And I think that has been one of our concerns, that have been that we haven't had a district, custodians are there, but I don't think they step in for any supervision or any guidance at that point. So I just wanted to clarify that I don't think that and we have admin here. So admin, I don't know if you guys are the district, or that's, you guys have been responsible for any of it?
Yeah, our contract ends at 4 o'clock. So typically, I mean, we have meetings that take us beyond that. But, yeah, I'm there to consult with Carmen Arce, who is our site lead. I meet with her weekly. But yeah.
Not during program.
Not during program.
The reason I also bring that up is in our last board meeting, we had also approved in regards to getting a new building, et cetera, to be able to help and get new people on board to help with all these programs that we have going on at the same time, and also to provide clarity for that lack of communication there seems to be from one site to another, or even from sites to the district to the parents. It's just a revolving circle. So the importance of actually having a go-to person. Again, we just heard from staff members themselves who are not available at the school site. So it's still something that we're putting a pin on it, because we still need to have a conversation on that part. My next question though, Dr. Ruby, is if this would all come to play, we're talking about multiple programs going on at the same time, and there have been conversations of looking into security. I say that because I've encountered it myself when I would pass by Santa Lucia and kids jumping over the fence, et cetera, kids being on top of the roof, because we would get calls on teens being on the roof. So is that something, if it is going towards the programs in itself, is that something that is available for us to obtain with this funding?
So that was discussed last year. I'm going to go ahead and defer to Joni on this one.
So I'm putting it out there.
So it's not in the concept of how you're presenting like as a guard at all, but how we have intentionally tried to include those types of duties in the job descriptions that we've already brought forward to support the program. But the job descriptions that we have brought forward to support ELOP currently are not the totality of the job descriptions that we intend. We have more intentions to bring other job descriptions forward to continue supporting this program. Now that the board has approved the lease of the additional building, we can expand our staffing to support that program, whereas before we couldn't expand our staffing because we didn't have a place to house the additional people. So I wouldn't say a security guard is the type of position that we're looking for, but a position that can support the program at each of the sites, somebody who can, and I'm not talking about just one person, but these types of things, somebody who can be at the sites to support them in the capacity that you're mentioning during the hours that those people are needed to be there. So those are considerations, and it's just a matter of what that is. It one position? Is it one job description? Is it multiple job descriptions? Or is it a stipended position that it's people who we already have that, you know, it would expand their duties and they would get paid additional monies. And those are the types of conversations that Dr. Ruby and I are having so that we can bring that forward to you fairly soon.
So it's not something that can be contracted out, just for clarification?
It could be. I mean, legally, those types of things could be contracted out. I mean, we could contract with a third party who is just like a security personnel, and they could come and just wander our campuses during that time. It's not to dispel that. It's just that we've been trying to intentionally include our own staff as much as we possibly can instead of hiring, consulting with other organizations.
We do have, we worked with the ELOP committee to develop job responsibilities for a site coordinator. So that's one of the positions that we're trying to figure out how to get approved and what avenue we have to take to have that done. But that would be a teacher that would be in that role, and they would be in that role from the end of the school day until 6 o'clock. And that would be one person at each site. So that's one of the positions that we've talked about.
Would they oversee the after-school portion as well, or would they only do ELOP?
They will oversee
Teacher-led.
the teacher-led component. And then making sure, of course, like anyone on campus has a facilities request, they'll have access to the facilities requests that are approved, so they know who to expect on campus. And then they would also be, the person that would call if we needed to call dispatch, if there was someone that didn't want to leave or was, if that was needed. But that's amongst other things that we had talked about in our meeting. But yeah, there'll be one at each site.
Do we have a timeline?
We thought we had it ready for you, and we need to have another conversation. So we just didn't meet the timeline to meet this board meeting. So.
And, I'm just gonna go back on our last board meeting, what we had. And I know that the contracts were just submitted and whatnot, but this was kind of one of the things that I did mention, and I did say, I don't want to see last minute contracts, because we get put in a position where we need to approve, and we don't want to take a decision and do it blindly last minute or just because we need to do it. So moving forward, we ask that these contracts get brought forward with time, especially it gives us the time to do our due diligence and be able to do our research and be able to look into everything a little bit more in depth. Because when it's last minute, it's literally, we don't want to feel like we have to do it today or we have to make a fast moving decision. So, and like I said last time, we are approving contracts, we're approving so many things, especially with ELOP. I think one of my main focus has always been, trying to get things for long-term, not a one and done. So, and I think that's where I continue to stand with. And then just to go back, were any adjustments done to that curriculum for after we met? And if so, what were they?
Yes, we actually assigned a specific curriculum writer specifically for middle school. And so right now they're doing gardening, they're making jewelry, there's a Dungeons and Dragons, there's a game theory. So we have other middle schools, and so what we actually did was kind of take a poll of what are our most popular ones in the middle schools, what are the ones that seem to be the most interesting, and then we asked the students there. And so right now they are doing Dungeons and Dragons, jewelry making, and gardening, which the kids are loving gardening and the jewelry making one.
At the middle school?
At Shalom Peaks right now.
That's interesting because CPMS takes me for a whole different avenue. So that's why I know that last time when we did the walkthrough, they were just doing pins, I believe.
They were doing pins and making balloon.
In one room,
animal.
and it was all done in one room with only like 15 kids, and that's all they had, right? So to be honest, I'm personally not ready to make a decision on anything today. I don't know what everybody else feels. I really would want more of a study session on what we have and what's being brought forward. I think it's also important to hear from our site admin, which if anybody wants to step up and talk on the mic, but I mean, because I think they have been in those roles for long periods of time, and I think it's important to also get the feedback from admin, from everybody who deals with the students and with the programs. Because again, I think at least personally, I'm gonna talk for myself at this point. I have 2 years on this board left. I'm not seeking election for the new board. So for me, if we're gonna make a change right now, it's when we can make changes and make positive changes for what our students actually want and what they actually need. So I think right now, I really wanna outweigh the pros, the cons of everything and see what can we do. Because once unification happens, well, we don't even know what's saying, what's going. So if anything, I think that for me, it's trying to do what I think is going to benefit the students at this time. So I really do want to look more in depth and get also input from all the stakeholders, including our admin and our teachers, our students, and our parents, and see which way they want to go. For me, having multiple programs at a site, it seems like chaos. It seems like chaos all around. We have no rooms. I mean, I worked in the after-school world, and sometimes to even share a room with the teacher was hard. So now, if we have 3 different programs going at once, it's chaos. I don't see the feasibility of it. I know in your guys' head, it's probably all worked out, but I just see teachers who might be upset because they're using their rooms or can't do a program because they need the room. So I see chaos. So I would kind of want to do a study session.
So still sticking to the point of, again, for pro youth, well, it'll probably be in general. I'm just curious to know, so if you can reach out, I'm just curious to know in regards to staffing. Not for pro youth project, the project, not that one. Some of our administrators just say, hey, I'm not there. Our end of work day is at this time. We have, even if there's teachers who are part of this program, even when we have our own staff part of this program in one shape or another, I am still curious to see if staff would still rather have someone else instead of an actual staff member be the one who be addressing security issues. So I'm curious to know if they would prefer just somebody outdoors coming in and them being responsible for it. What is the feedback from them, right? Because there's a lot of kids out there running around like crazy during these programs. And you got teachers who are focused on that. And I wouldn't want them to also be thinking of security-wise, what the heck is going on around them. If there's somebody else that can be doing that for them. So again, just putting it out there to them and get their feedback and see if they would be up for that. Because getting people to leave your campuses, getting people off the roofs, it's not an easy peasy thing. And so again, it's just putting it out there. In regards to the agreement in itself, I was a little bit disappointed in this. I hear a lot of this is the King City way, and in certain things it is in a positive light. But then there are some things, because it happens in our day-to-day jobs a lot, that the King City way is not always the best way, right? And this agreement, according to the contract, it begins July 1st, 2026, and it is August 18th, right? And so to piggyback off what Tony was saying in regards to ensuring that we get contracts ahead of time so it can be reviewed, so it can be kicked off accordingly. Because at least when we sign up contracts in my secular job, things don't get started until it's checked off and all the T's, all the I's are taken care of, and we don't move forward with it. Nothing's budged until it is signed off. But yet here we are, we're already on the 18th of August, and I'm pretty sure the program's already up and rolling. For me, I don't see that as right. I don't see that as having accountability over it. So we sometimes do have to break that mold. And if now is the time of breaking that mold of when things are done and how they're being submitted, then we got to do better as a whole in that. So again, this agreement became effective July 1st, right? And it's August 18th. And we've been asking, and we even had a meeting late July. That's why we felt summer was so short, because we had meetings up till July, but some of our staff members couldn't be here for that. And it was crucial for them to be here for that. Again, importance of submitting information with time. At least, again, like he was mentioning about moving it, I do move forward to also agree with them, a study session to continue to talk about these contracts. We're not saying no at this time, but we do need more time to look into the stuff that we have presented before us. Does anyone else need to speak in regards to the pro-youth agreement before we move to F? Anybody else?
I can just say I agree with them, to make it short.
Yeah.
I have a question. Whose responsibility is it to keep the kids off?
Is that pro youth? Once pro youth is done, who's keeping the kids off the roof? I mean, you guys are pointing at pro youth or that certain kids are on the roof, but once pro youth is there, who's keeping the kids off the roof? No, and I kind of want to clarify, and it's not that we're pointing fingers at pro youth. I think we have some concerns of a program we've had for multiple years. And this has not been the first time where concerns have been brought forward. Unfortunately, sometimes it has happened, and that's why we requested items not to be put on consent agenda because we approve and we do not do our due diligence and bring them forward. So I know that last time when we had to do an amendment is when we requested a presentation and we had a presentation. So we do want to clarify that. It's not that we're pointing fingers. It is that we are trying to make the best decision that we can for our students. What program's going to benefit our students? And this is looking at it at a completely different and non-biased way of what is it, what's working and what's not working. What's in the interest of our students, especially, and my concern has been, I come from the after school world, and that for me holds a special part in me, after school and special education. So that's where I come from, and that is my area of where I'm always trying to advocate. And so for me, it's trying to see, and this is why we want parent input. This is why we want to get more information so we can make the best informed decision. So I do want to clarify that we are not looking to blame anybody because it is a problem that we're having with security issues. And now I guess when contracts come forward is the only time where we can really address the actual issues, because once it gets approved, it's like, it's approved. We can't do anything. I mean, and to a certain point, it can kind of get brushed off because it's already approved. And I think right now is where us as the board can address those issues or whatever issues, concerns we have.
So I just want to provide clarification for this question in regards to people on the roof and et cetera. So I'm not pointing fingers at the programs and what they are doing in regards to keeping people off the campuses. That's the problem I'm having is don't put them in charge of that because they're focused on the kids and teaching the kids and doing all these programs in itself. Could we look into somebody else taking care of security issues within the schools? So not on them. Again, they already have their hands full, even the teachers who do their teacher-led programs, they're focused on their schools. I mean, on their children, on the kids that they're teaching. So would it be better, that's what I wanted to ask, would it be better for it to be outsourced, to be contracted out, somebody else take care of the security component of it and have them focus on what they need to do with their kids? That's it. Not saying there's one supposed to be, no, I've seen it. I've been in the after school programs when they have called in because there's kids running around that not supposed to be within the program. But why them be the ones who are trying to have to handle that when you can have somebody else do it? If it's feasible, if it works out, and if people agree with it. So, because it can't be everything on them, right? Now we're gonna ask, they need to be taser trained and they need to be less lethal trained. Like, yeah, we're not gonna be asking for all of that. But I mean, if it's something that is feasible and we're able to use the ELOP funding for to provide that security, and if the staff again agrees to that, then why not? If we are able to. Anybody else in regards to questions or comments? Yes. Can you, sorry, can you come on?
Good afternoon. My kids have been in the youth pro youth for a long time ago, and I have never seen any issue. So I don't know why, I don't know where it's everything like for us parents, make it more difficult. You guys, that's the program that supports our parents after work, especially those long hours. So if you really want to help out and have any, like you mentioned, you worry about it. Instead of that, like, is there a way that you also could help us? You could also help us as a district, help our programs, support our parents, our community. because you know, a lot of parents, like, they feel like their kids are more safe in those programs than with a child care or babysitter. So, and it's not even that, they active, they do sports. Like my kid today had soccer practice at K Camp. He left upset because I picked him up early. So it's like my kids, I don't have no issues with them. They love the program. But if you guys really want to help too, I hope that you guys consider helping too. Because I have never, for K-CAP, I have never had any issues about kids wandering around or anything. Those ladies are that right there are really nice. They communicate when something is going on. Because my son had some issues and they're really well communicating with me. I'm really glad that they let parents know what's going on, because as parents, we could help them out too. So if you guys, for any reason, you guys at the end decide that this program is not worth it, then it's gonna be a big back in our agriculture parents and our community. Just consider that. Also for students that really like sports, art, and all the stuff that you guys do, especially also the science. My kid had never done science and he was really great that he was able to learn how to turn the little light on. So just consider that if you really want to support or as a district, help us too. Thank you.
Can I clarify a little bit? I just want to clarify, it's not that we want to, pásale, ahorita doy, ahorita. I just want to clarify, we're not trying to stay without an after-school program. Our concern is having multiple programs running at a time. So we're not trying to get rid of and not help our families. We want to continue helping our families. We want to provide the best program we can for our families and for our students. I personally think that we can try to minimize it into one program instead of having multiple. We have teacher-led, which is totally separate. That is totally separate. That is ran by our district. But an outside program, I kind of feel that that's where the issue might come in, having two outside programs. So we're still going to continue providing an after-school program. We're still going to continue supporting our students and our families. It's just that my concern is having multiple programs at a time can then cause the confusion. Okay, which program are they on? Or who am I calling? Where am I picking up? Or I see kids over here, but they're not over here. They're over here. So it's just, that's just kind of, so I just want to clarify, we are going to continue having a program. Right now, we're discussing what contracts we have on in front of us. ¿Cómo? Last year, we had a teacher program and our pro youth.
You're talking about summer.
Yeah, summer, yes. Summer, we were doing two programs, which it's outside of school. They weren't in the school facility, so they were divided. Right now, can we imagine having, I don't know how many teachers are per site, how many pro youth staff would be on site, and how many youth project staff would be on site? It's where it causes the logistic issues. And this is why I kind of want the study session, and I like this session because we were able to address those concerns, and we can talk back and forth, and we can, address the actual concerns that you guys have, and clarify what misperception there is on something.
Buenas tardes. Nosotros ya tenemos varios tiempo con ProYup. Tenemos desde 5 años. Tenemos de hace 5 años que tenemos nuestros niños ahí.
So this is a parent, ¿cómo se llama? Disculpe.
Joaquín,
Joaquin, and he has had his children in the Pro Youth program. ¿Cuántos años?
5 años.
5 years.
Y el programa nos ha ayudado demasiado porque nosotros trabajamos y nos hacen el favor de cuidar a nuestros niños y nunca hemos tenido problemas en ese programa.
The program has helped us out so much because we work all day and we've never had an issue with our children in this program.
Y nos gustaría que siguiera la escuela con ese programa. Gracias.
And we would like for the school to continue with the Pro Youth program. Thank you.
Anyone else in regards to pro-youth? Sure.
Good evening. My name is Diana Taylor. I, along with Valerie Rubo, am a co-president for the KCETA. And I just want to clarify and speak on what board member or trustee Tony said, is that the issue of student safety is not with the pro-youth program controlling their students and not with the teacher-led clubs controlling their students. The teachers raised concerns about safety on campus because they were open. And there were people going on campus using basketball courts and doing things that would technically be illegal, like drinking and smoking. And the teachers had concerns that we couldn't even send our children to the bathroom unattended because adult men were in the bathrooms. So that is what we're trying to address with the safety concern. It's not that we are accusing programs of not watching their children safely. We have worked with pro-youth for many years successfully, and I'll address some other things for another agenda item, but with this program specifically, there have been no issues with behavior management. The issue was safety on campus after hours when there are no admin on campus and there are people on the campus that are not doing things that we would want our children to be around. Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else in regards to the pro-youth program? Okay. So we did talk about having a study session. So somebody wants to make a motion in regards to moving action item E, the pro-youth agreement, to our next study board session we'll have, and we'll have to come up with a date.
Or do we have a comment? So I'll go ahead and make a motion to table this and bring it back on a study session. I don't know if we need to set a date.
Or can we wait after we talk about it? Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and table it for a study session and then for further discussion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, moving on to action item F. This would be for the youth project agreement.
For your approval this evening, we have the Youth Project After School Program Agreement for regular school days and our intercession program.
Any questions or comments in regards to the youth project? I did have a note here I can't seem to find. I'm not sure if that was also for the youth project. Yes, no?
Are you doing public comment first?
Because we did have somebody. So was it for this project? Okay, got it. So that way you can, all right, go ahead. Do you have any comments right now, or would you like me to go ahead and have
Up to
this
you,
public?
however you want.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead? If you can come over here to the front, please. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Samantha Salmon, and I'm a parent here in King City. I want to start by saying I'm not questioning anyone's integrity or intentions. I know everyone here cares about our kids. But I have two concerns about this contract that I hope the board will address before voting. First, we already have an ELOP after school program in this district. It's being run, it's been running, it's been serving our kids, and by all accounts, it's been asking for more resources to hire more staff and do more with our students. So my question is simple. Why are we voting to approve $3.27 million+ to build a parallel system with a third-party contractor instead of directing those same funds to expand the program we already have? Our existing program keeps kids on campus, no buses, no travel time, no extra variables. The staff already know our kids, and our kids already know them. Every dollar goes to supervision, enrichment, not to transportation, not to a contractor overhead, and not just off-site facility agreements. The second concern is the off-site piece of this proposal. This contract buses students to Little League parks, the fairgrounds, Soul Treasures, and the city pool. That's $135 grand in transportation alone, plus $270 grand to third-party partners. I understand those organizations do good work, but this money is meant for expanded learning for our students and not to be an economic lifeline for local nonprofits during a slow economy. Every time we put a kid on a bus to go across town for programming, we add risk, we add time, we add complexity, and we add cost that doesn't go directly to a child's enrichment. Art, STEM, athletic, homework, help, all of those can all happen on school grounds with district staff who are already trained, already cleared and vetted, and already trusted by our families. So before we approve this, I'm asking the board for it to answer one question. Has the district done a real comparison between expanding what we already run and contracting this out to a third party? Because that money can go directly into already existing programs. Because from where I'm sitting, this looks like a very complicated, very expensive answer to a simple problem, and our kids deserve the simplest, safest, and most direct use of every one of those dollars. Thank you. Sorry,
Thank you. Good evening, board members. My name is Delilah Reyes, and this summer I worked as a recreation staff alongside the Youth Project program. I am here to share my experience and explain why I do not support additional funding for Youth Project or its expansion into our schools. Before I begin, I want to clarify the role of recreation staff. It was repeatedly emphasized to us both by Youth Project and our management that this was Youth Project's program and responsibility. Recreation staff were there to assist, not take over activities or the program. I even asked Youth Project staff whether, given our training, we had the authority to step in and assist participants beyond that role, and I was told that we did not. Activities were often made up as we went. I observed heavy unsupervised phone usage among the older groups due to lack of planned activities. More importantly, I had serious concerns about staff training and preparedness. While recreation staff received CPR, first aid, and mandated reporter training, Youth Project staff who were hired later in the summer did not receive these trainings, as I asked a staff directly. This concerned me because they were still working directly and supervising young children without the same safety training recreation staff had received. The lack of preparedness was also apparent when it came to first aid. Recreation staff carried first aid pouches with us at all times, while the Youth Project staff frequently relied on us for Band-Aids, ice packs, and other supplies because their first aid supplies were stored in a separate building. In one instance, a child was bleeding heavily, and recreation staff stepped in to clean the injury and provide first aid while the Youth Project staff did not assist. I also witnessed a situation involving a 6-year-old child who became extremely scared because he believed he might have been exposed to peanuts and can have an allergic reaction. Although he was not experiencing a reaction at the time, Youth Project staff said he was overreacting, rather than reassuring and taking his concerns seriously. I found that response unprofessional and inappropriate towards a young child who was genuinely frightened. Another serious concern was food sanitation. Signs were posted around the kitchen reminding staff to check the food before serving it. Despite this, I witnessed Youth Project staff distribute milk that was later found to be spoiled or slimy. In some instances, this was not discovered until after a child had already consumed it, at which point the milk was collected and taken back. I also observed moldy strawberries stored in the same refrigerators as food that continued to be served to campers. I also personally experienced a conduct from Youth Project staff member that I considered sexually inappropriate. A comment directed towards me carried sexual implications and made me uncomfortable in my workplace. Comments of a sexual nature towards coworkers have no place in a professional environment, especially one centered around serving children. These experiences raised serious concerns for me about the safety, professionalism, and oversight of this program. Based on what I had personally witnessed, I do not believe Youth Project has demonstrated that it should receive additional funding or be given an expanded role in our schools. I respectfully ask the board to consider investing those resources elsewhere, such as Pro Youth. Thank you for your time.
Hello and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eileen Quintana. I am an 18-year-old, and this year I've just completed my second year working with the Rec Day Camp. And I just want to share my personal experiences as a rec staff working alongside the youth project staff. From the start of this program, it was clear where they had stood. The youth project was in charge and made the final call on certain matters. At first, I was okay with that, as long as we were able to effectively communicate amongst each other to make the best of what we could for those who attended this program. Yet, time made it clear that they wanted nothing to do with us. Most of each day, I had no idea what we were doing or where would we go next. The young children I worked with often asked, "Where are we going?" or "What are we going to do?" And all I could respond with was, "It's a surprise." Not because it was, but because I had no clue what we were doing. In order to figure out what the next activity was, I found myself constantly asking those TYP staff members. It was no help when they were as clueless as me. We never set a routine, and the closest we got to one was towards the end of day camp. Each day, our group of kids played in the expo from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Although some children enjoyed it, others sat against the wall in boredom. Even when I tried to encourage them to play, they refused. It only became more difficult as children sat around doing nothing and staff wouldn't acknowledge me. On one occasion, a child I was working with, for privacy we'll call him John, was exposed to peanuts. With him being a part of the day camp last year, I already knew that he was allergic to nuts. As the group walked to the next station, John was slowly walking in the back of the line. He was clearly panicked. No one else was helping him, so I pulled him aside from the rest of the group to talk to him and try to calm him down. As he cried and coughed, he briefly explained that another camper had wafted a peanut snack in his face. Due to the fact that I have no control over contact information, I had to quickly search for a TYP coordinator. As I brought someone over, that individual asked John what had happened. His explanation was jittery, and the fear in his voice made it difficult for that person to understand. On behalf of John, I explained what I could make out of his scattered words to the coordinator. They looked at me, nodded, and redirected their attention toward the child. I stood there for another 5 minutes without any acknowledgement or sign that I could go. At that moment, more staff came, and the members talked with each other as they searched for an EpiPen in his backpack. One person said that he was overreacting. Keep in mind that he was not yet having an allergic reaction, but it was better to be safe than sorry. When they didn't find one, a TYP staff member suggested that they use the EpiPen of another child, which was safely stored away in their medicine cubby. The members agreed. To my knowledge, they did not reach out to his guardian, asking them to bring one to have on hand. I quietly dismissed myself as I realized they no longer needed my help. The important thing is the child was safe and he did not enter anaphylaxis. Thank you.
If the youth project was not able to cooperate with a business that has been running a day camp for years on end, what do you think makes them competent to work with an entire school district after just one summer? My name is Elizabeth Cervantes. I'm 18 years old, and I just finished my second summer working with the King City Recreation Department as a summer day camp aide. This summer, the recreation staff had the unfortunate opportunity to work with a new organization called the Youth Project. I would like to go over a general opinion on behalf of my coworkers and I. The Youth Project staff and management are incompetent employees and a disorganized business that cannot properly collaborate or work with children, as well as demonstrating low maturity level. To reinforce, these attributes are not a representation of all TYP personnel. Rather, it's a representation of what their business is encompassing. The events that I will be talking about are anecdotal from what my coworkers and I experienced. During our time working at summer camp, we, the rec staff, were constantly belittled and not seen as equal to the staff of the youth project. We had little to no authority over the children in the same way they did, and the children acted on this as well, as they would, for example, never come to us for help or correct their behavior if we were told to tell them otherwise. A youth project staff member would refer to my coworker and I as girls to get our attention and not by our names, which is how she would refer to a group of young campers. If this staff member did not know our names, there is no hurt in making an effort to know the people you are working with in the same way we, the rec staff, did. We were never led aware of any of the children's special needs, whether it was an allergy or a child with an autism diagnosis. And this never gave us the chance to know these kids or understand how we should approach them. Moreover, we were ignored. We had an entire schedule that was supposed to be followed all summer that was gone over during our 1 day of rec and youth project training. One of these activities included walking to the rec to do a craft. However, this was not followed at all for my group, the youngest group, or one of the youngest groups, being 5 to 6 year olds. This activity was not followed throughout summer, as a TYP staff in my group stated, the rec is too far of a walk. The pools that the kids were prompted to go to every day, as well as the softball field and the city park the youth project also took the kids to, were the same distance as the rec. The children have not once complained or cried over a 3-minute walk. ELOP enriches children by allowing them to have a space to continue to learn and actively engage themselves with educational material in a structured environment, as opposed to the youth project has no structure or ability to fulfill needs and maintain engagement, as they allow the same children to sit for hours doing nothing in the expo without a schedule or meaningful and mindful enriching activities. The ELOP has every right and deserves the full state-funded grant, as it will actually benefit what we care about the most, which is the children.
Good evening. My name is Hector Mandujano, and I'm a school counselor at CPMS. And I'm also a parent of a student at CPMS and Del Rey. According to the handouts that we got during National Night Out, we expect CPMS to host 31 staff-run clubs this year. If each of those clubs just had 10 students, that means 310 students could be served in the middle school. If we up that to just 15 students per one of those teacher clubs, we would be up to 464. From what I've been able to see online about ELOP guidelines, school must offer 9 hours of combined learning and programming on regular school days. At CPMS, our 6.5 school day ends at 2:58 on regular days, which means after school programs only need to run until 5:28 to reach the 9-hour requirement and stay in full compliance. We can achieve this standard with our own staff if we work together. Our district worked hard to get our teachers and staff excited to lead these programs, and our staff stepped up in a big way. Bringing in outside third party for the same services undoes that progress. It creates unnecessary competition for campus space, risk pulling students away from staff-run clubs, may result in fewer internal clubs in the long run, and demoralizes and discourages staff. Our staff already knows the kids, understands our campus culture, and builds real relationship with them every single day. Now we extended that to after-school services. If there are still specific areas where our program falls short in compliance, I ask that the district work directly with our staff first and find solutions utilizing ELOP committees that were initiated last year, or work with the staff directly. We have a high number of dedicated staff who are ready and willing to help bridge this gap. I respectfully ask the board not to contract with an outside vendor for services our school staff is already actively providing. Instead, please support, foster, and help us continue to grow the strong staff-run programs we have already had at our school. I just want to add that I focus on CPMS because that's the school that I'm most familiar, that I have numbers. The flyer that I received at National Night Out for Del Rey also had 30 clubs that were going to be hosted. So I believe that we have the manpower to figure out a solution for this and not need a third-party vendor to come in and just complicate things, kind of like what Tony Aguilar mentioned. I think it is going to get just more difficult and in the long run just not benefit our students. Thank you.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Kareli García, soy madre de familia, mi hija se llama Keila, está en la Escuela Santa Lucía en Educación Especial, ella tiene autismo y platicaré mi experiencia en campamento de verano. Fue una experiencia bonita, buena, me sentí incluida como madre de una niña en educación especial. Mi hija aprendió, se divirtió, participó en actividades, fue a uno de los paseos al Parque San Lorenzo y lo más importante y mi meta como madre de familia era que mi hija socializara con más niños en la comunidad.
Permítame un momento mientras la traduzo, por favor, de rapidito y usted puede continuar. Gracias.
My name is Kareli Garcia. I'm a mother of Kayla, and my child has autism. I'm going to speak a little of my experience with the youth project. My daughter Kayla had so much fun socializing with other kids, participating in activities. One of the field trips was to San Lorenzo Park. It was a beautiful experience. Thanks to all the people that were involved and supported us, because she is part of special education. And I feel like she will benefit from this program.
Agradezco a las personas involucradas para que mi hija se incorporara al programa y también, si me lo permiten, espero que más niños en educación especial estén en este tipo de programas. Gracias por proporcionar a una persona que estuviera con ella durante el programa en el tiempo del campamento de verano. Muchas gracias.
And because my daughter is special needs, I'm thankful that somebody was with her, that was able to be with her during the program. And I appreciate that she had that support within the youth program. Sorry, youth project, sorry.
It was an adult with a daughter, not a like 18-year-old kid. Kids working with kids that we get along. Thank you. That's my point. Thank you.
Hello. So my name is Diana Taylor. I am co-president with Valerie Rubo for the King City Elementary Teachers Association. I'm speaking on behalf of our unit members. As you've heard from some of our members already, there are concerns from the unit members about the potential impact to student enrollment to the teacher-led ELOP clubs if the contract with the third-party program known as the Youth Project gets approved. Teachers are concerned that enrollment in their clubs will decrease and therefore cause their club to get consolidated with another club or get canceled altogether. At a board meeting on May 19th in 2026, last year, many ELOP teachers spoke during public comment to showcase their clubs. We were told that teacher-led clubs are the priority. However, there has been nothing communicated to the teachers about how that will happen. All right, if this contract gets approved and once it rolls out to parents. So we are asking, what is the plan? I have read through the proposed contract. In section 1.4, it states that core program operations shall occur at the following sites and then proceeds to list the 3 elementary schools and the middle school. But where exactly are they going to be housed? In section 1.8, it addresses that the contractor shall arrange and carry all program transportation, but what is that going to look like? And to be clear, we are not against third-party programs per se. To offer a safe, structured place to go after school, we work with Pro Youth. Pro Youth is housed on site at each site, and students attend ELOP clubs with their teachers after school, and then we walk them to their Pro Youth groups. Pro Youth is a well-established program that we have partnered with great success. In addition, there are concerns about the program itself. It is a new program that was just created and started this summer. As we've heard tonight, there are concerns about accountability of the third-party program. We know that there are strict ELOP guidelines about clubs providing academic content and staff to student ratios. Our teachers, all the teachers in this room, excuse me, have many years of professional experience teaching academic content and behavior management. We know how to create safe, structured, and academic learning environments. The proposal has a huge fiscal impact of $3.2 million, which is approximately 40% of our district's ELOP budget. I am asking the board members to please take into consideration the concerns over the logistics and the accountability of this program before making a decision to approve this contract. There should be a more comprehensive plan before a decision is made. Because if it is approved, the district will be using our district ELOP funds to pay an outside group versus prioritizing current employees and programs already in place. When you invest in KCUSD educators, you are investing in our students as well. We look forward to our continued work providing great clubs and programs for our students. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Fabiola Almanza. I'm a second grade teacher at Delray, but I'm also a parent of the community. I had the opportunity to attend some field trips as a teacher with the youth project, and I would like to say I also run a number of different ELOP programs myself that included a number of different field trips. I would like to add to that there were a number of issues. Previous comments that were made in regards to professionalism, health concerns, all of that is true. You guys all should have received a packet with some information where it's cited, and I included everything that you guys, that we received for our schedule during our field trips. None of the schedule was accurate, nor was it correct. We left late. They were not punctual. They were not on time. Students were very, very late to be fed at one point as well. There were a number of issues where we had no information in regards to any of their allergy lists. We have students that went on field trips that were sick, already had a fever, and were still allowed to go. There are also supplies listed on these field trip forms that we received that we did not get. We had students that were from TK to kinder, I think first as well, that didn't have simple things such as when you take them on a field trip, you're taking them anywhere, you're going to need basic things like hand sanitizer, wipes, those little things that you need to take care for those kids. None of that was provided, nor did any of these step-by-step instructions that were included in your packet were they provided. There were a number of issues that completely occurred, and you guys should all have the pictures. I also included some pictures on there of staff members from the youth project that completely left their kids. They left their students, and I'm talking about TK to first, completely left them unattended. They went to go have lunch while we were all left there with the rest of the kids. Not only were we left there, some of them didn't even say anything to anybody. There was no acknowledgement. There was no level of professionalism. I witnessed things such as small children hitting youth project coaches in the private area, and that was okay. That continued, that type of behavior, getting along as if they were their friends versus the adult that should have been responsible and made sure that they stopped any behavior that we wouldn't have allowed. And I'm sure a number of parents wouldn't have been happy with some of the things that they witnessed while they were there. And I would like to add that a lot of those issues that were reported in regards to students kind of just sitting there, that really was the case. It was the case. There was no real structure in both of the times that I went that was shown or evident at all during my days there with the field trips. So a lot of these things that we are required to take ourselves as teachers for any field trips was not included. I will say that the medicine part was a major issue. At one point when I went to my second field trip with them, I had a student who I later found out had an allergy. And so he was making sure that, hey, please make sure that this is not included. It would have been nice to get that information ahead of time. There was zero information or preparation. And like I said on your packet, you will have pictures that will show and demonstrate how they just left. They went to go eat and they completely left their kids alone. So with that being said, I would like to add, based on the contract that they have provided, which is 12.2 termination for cause, it states on here that the district may terminate this agreement. And one of the reasons what is stated on there says any act of fraud, willful misconduct, or gross negligence. I really feel like that has already been proven to be an issue during the summertime. So please take into consideration before you vote on this. And I will say that although Pro Youth may have had some issues at other sites as mentioned, overall, they are an established program that has worked greatly with our district. They do a great job. I will speak for my side at Delray. They've been great to work with. If there's ever any concerns, I know Ms. Carmen is an excellent person to communicate with, and there's always an open line of communication at that point. So thank you guys for your time.
Good evening. I'm Terry Storelli, the Executive Director of the Monterey County Agricultural and Rural Life Museum. I just wanted to start by saying that the Pro Youth organization visited us this summer on a field trip, as well as more than a dozen schools and homeschool groups visit us per year on planned field trips without incident. We recently hosted the Youth Project students and enjoyed having them, and we appreciated the engaged recreation staff. However, with the Youth Project, we experienced challenges with communication, coordination, and supervision that made the visit difficult for our staff and volunteers to manage safely and effectively. After careful consideration, we will not be able to host future Youth Project visits in their current format. This is the first time that we have made that decision since 1980 with a visiting group, and it is not one that we have made lightly. Upon notifying them of the issues, we received no response. We appreciate efforts to provide opportunities for local youth, and we hope that this feedback helps to strengthen the programs that you offer. Thank you.
Hello. I'm just here, same thing, right? So my name is Lisa, and I'm an instructional coach and author, yay, of a math book. So I kind of have like that little math mindset. So I'm not only coming to you as a teacher, but I'm also coming as somebody whose family owned and operated a family business for over 50 years. So I was raised with the mindset of a business person. So with that in mind, I too have some concerns. So approving, okay, so this was written like before you all like pulled it. So like, just bear with me. It's like really well written. You'll love it. It's fantastic. But approving a $3.27 million contract in a single blanket vote bypasses the public oversight that we absolutely deserve. And so thank you for pulling it so that we could have the discussion. Before locking in 40% of the district's ELOP funding, I do urge the board to ask more questions and look further into three particular things. There were others, but I focused in on three. First was the direct fiscal contradictions. The board cover letter claims that the funding is tied to enrollment and in attendance. However, Section 3.3 of the contract itself explicitly states that payment is a flat fee calculated on enrolled capacity, not actual daily attendance. In direct contrast, to our current vendor, Pro Youth, who operates at an itemized cost reimbursement model where the district only pays for delivered expenses. TYP gets paid the full $3.27 million, even if hundreds of kids don't show up. Furthermore, their budget bundles millions into 4 summary lines with a zero breakdown for administrative overhead or subcontractor markups. Furthermore, Section 3.2 allows TYP to unilaterally reallocate funds between after-school programs, break camps, third-party partners, etc., transportation, without district approval. This gives the private vendor sole discretion over $3.2 million public budget with zero ongoing board oversight. Second, the operational and staffing logistics. You've heard some of that, but I just read some of the things that they're doing. To serve 1,000 students is the proposal. Under the state requirements, we know that it has to be a 20-to-1 ratio. So TYP must recruit background clear, and retain roughly 60 staff members daily. The agreement gives them only 10 days before the launch to do this. It is a fair point that they do already have roughly 30 employees that are listed on their website. They do need, so they'll need an additional 30 people. That's still a lot of people. This is in addition to the staffing needs that they have in Greenfield. So how will their Greenfield contract impact their ability to maintain quality staff and a quality program here in King City? How will they manage student handoffs with teacher-led clubs? There is no protocol in place in their contract, and I believe that Pro Youth does have one, although I'm not 100% sure. These logistics remain completely unanswered in TYP's proposal, aside from general promises. Third, unaddressed summer concerns. I don't think I'm going to read that because I think you've heard some of them. I will just say that I am aware that there were some summer concerns that were brought to the district, and to the best of my knowledge, those were never, there was no district-led investigation or formal evaluation or anything that was conducted. I'm going through because some of these things were already done. So thank you very much for everything. But I do feel that committing $3.2 million without auditing past performances creates a significant oversight risk and a lack of responsibility the district and the board has to our community. Thank you very much for all you do, and thank you for listening.
Anyone else in regards to the youth project agreement that would like to speak?
I have one question. My question is, what is your background, if any, in education that you feel that you can come in and provide all these services for our students? That we've all gone to school and had all these trainings and years of education background behind us. I mean, what does this program really have to offer for our students?
If you would like to answer, you can. If not, you can hold off. No? All right. Okay, that being said, no other comments or questions? So we'll go ahead and, did you have something?
No.
No? Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to action item G.
We haven't done a motion or anything.
Oh, okay, sure. we
So,
can do that. Yes.
just a quick, thank you guys, everybody who took the time to speak. So, I took note, I wrote everything down. One of the things that, I guess this is kind of where I go with what I said earlier about having multiple programs running, is when they overlap staff and programs, issues happen. So that is my concern, and it continues to be my main concern, having so many programs running. I have one that I have the clarification. On expanding what we already have, I believe, and Dr. Ruby can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've been expanding what we have. We asked for more staff to be hired on to be able to provide, not have a waiting list. I know that there was staffing issues, and so we have done that part. At our last board meeting, we asked if we're getting a new building, we need those positions open right away. Why? Because we are asking and we are making those tough calls that if we need the staff, we need the staff, and we need to expand. So that continues to be our focus. That continues to be our focus. And what Mr. Mandujano said also about when a district ran program. I think we haven't had a district ran program for 10 years, I believe. I was part of a district ran program at that point, and I was one that had to transition when the district decided to go a different route. And I think what he was saying is true. We know the students that we are servicing. That has also been one of the questions that we've asked. How much and what would that entail? And if it's even a possibility of having our own district program. Again, all these are conversations that at one point have occurred. And right now, again, where do we go? I mean, it's hard. And I think that it is a good thing. It's a good topic to continue in the study session. And what possibilities, what do we have? We have one contract, we have another contract. Is there any possibility of a district grant program? Keeping it within our own district for accountability purposes. Because at the end of the day, who is being held accountable by who? And who's actually holding their program accountable? So all these are conversations to be continued. And at this moment, if you want a motion, or do you guys have?
There are a number of names on there, and there's one that I think was sad, that there were students involved in this program that were not part of our district. We have students from Las Vegas, from Salinas, Gonzales, and Reagan, and these are all students that I myself witnessed as well as other teachers that went to this field trip. So I'm kind of curious, do you guys know how it was? We only get charged for the students that are ours, but there are students from other bodies. Thank you. And then, so based on the contract, the note says also, the contract that's being proposed, that the food would not be part of this contract, right? Or take that over. What is the financial impact that they will have on us?
Dr. Ruby? If allowed, I'd like to address the woman over here. Thanks for your comment, and thank you all for your comments. I mean, any program, I think district-led, third-party-led, the conversation like this, to be able to take criticism, be able to evolve. I think that the strongest part of this room that I'm seeing is not just the feedback for all programs, but this is, Terry said earlier that, you know, sometimes the King City way is not the best. It's not the King City way. This is the King City way. And I think that this is a healthy situation for things to be vetted out. It's a big commitment, and it's a serious thing to make sure that kids have something to do after school, that we keep our kids safe. My qualifications personally, I have a degree in psychology and I have a minor in early childhood psychology. I have plenty of staff members who were degreed in education. You can read their bios on our website. So, you know, while some of our staff may not be teachers, it's a role that we chose not to go down, speaking for myself specifically. I had the opportunity to do that and chose not to. I've been a football coach at this particular high school for the last 15 seasons, and I've been a varsity football coach for the last 25 years. So I've been working with kids and impacting kids' lives for the last 25 years. So I may not be an educator per se, but early childhood development and developing kids and surrounding them with positive role models is something I've been a part of for more than half my life. To the food question specifically, yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You said that you have all this educational background and you work with the high school and so on. So are you in there with these kids? Because from what we heard, part of my friends, it was a shit show, right? So you feel like you need to stare me down when you tell me your background? Tell me, were you in there with the kids?
So
your staff was not trained to handle.
but you are the one that asked me the question, right? So that I'm just trying. I'm just trying to show. I'm just trying to show you some respect by talking to you and answering your questions.
But let's be respectful, please. Let's just keep order.
All I'm trying to do is show you some respect by looking at you when I speak to you. I haven't addressed that question, but I did look to her and said to the food question. So, ma'am, to your food question, the food I think is an issue, and you know, I'm not here to criticize because I think everybody is here to do the exact same thing. So the food did leave things to be desired, and I think that before the camp started, one of the things that we discussed with the district was providing food ourselves with a third-party vendor. And we did go down what the requirements of food would be. And we have a lot of complaints from parents that they got like a muffin, they got orange slices, and they got milk, which is all sugar basically. So there was not a lot of protein in the diet. Look, I think that this summer, the district made a great commitment to trying to serve as many kids as they possibly could. They can't do that only with teachers. All due respect to the teachers, but if you run the numbers, a teacher-led ELOP program will cost in the neighborhood of $9 million. It's double the apportionment. We have to work together. We need each other. And if you run our contract in parallel with your guys' hourly stipend and the average hourly rate, it's about $8.9 million. It's in parallel to serving 1,000 kids in parallel with our contract. Yeah. Pro Youth and myself, our two organizations came here tonight because we really wanted to show unity to the teacher-led programs. That's what we're here for. We're here to support your teacher-led programs. There are a lot of requirements, and there's different requirements with ELOP and with ACES, right? And, we have to serve kids till 6 p.m., right? So, and I'm not saying there's not, but there is a need, and we all need to make sure that we can work together. That's kind of the point. We were also provided snacks from the district. The field trip. So you did address, one of the issues you addressed was the field trips were late. There was times when the field trips were late. The times the field trips were late, we were waiting on food services to bring the lunches. So again, I don't want to sit and criticize food service. They had a tough job, but making sure the kids got fed was priority number one for us, and it did cause delays in the day. And then there's oftentimes where snacks weren't provided with the field trips. It would, again, I think that this is a learning lesson, and if we can, there's things that we can apply with positive feedback. And
So I understand where you're saying as a whole, but that wasn't.
that's a failure. I mean, that is a failure. All I can do is sit here and look you in the eye and tell you that that's a failure. I don't disagree with you. If that's actually what happened, that's a failure. And there's one other thing that I like to address with regards to the rec staff. I apologize for the experience that some of the rec staff had. The rec staff, I think what we had to get through during the course of the summer with the rec department and with our staff was that the youth project was responsible for the contract. And we did not ask the city of King for those employees for the summer, but it's something that the city was used to doing. And we took them in addition to our requirement for ratio.
Okay, but can I say something?
Sure.
Just because, yeah, the contract, this and that, but your employees did not have to say sexual stuff about me. They did not have to treat us with unprofessionalism, and that is a fault on your staff and your employment and who you decide to hire. That is not the contract.
I would, if that happened, I apologize, and I would. I'm not questioning you. I'm not questioning you whatsoever. What I would like to say to you though is that I would love for you to submit that to the youth project. We can't investigate something that we don't know of.
This survey should have been sent out by the district, because I know that we're seeing that there were zero negative comments on your survey, but I know the parents that filled it out, and that was not quite the case. So it would be nice to see a survey sent out by the district as well, in regards to the community.
So again, this conversation is ongoing. That is why we felt it was important, as you can see. It's important to be able to put this aside and discuss it further.
Can I get clarification questions?
Sure.
Just on the contract? So when it says 1,000 students, are those 1,000 that were billed? Are those based on the enrollment? What is that based on?
It's based off of enrollment and the guidelines and rules and regulations of CalPADS and ELOP requirements.
And then, so one of the things is that there's no way we'll be able to fill 1,360 ELP students for after school. So how would we address that? We wouldn't be charged the full fee for that
As far as,
if we don't fill those 1,000 seats.
correct. The contract is based off of enrollment. So I think what the question is if we don't meet the 1,000 kids enrollment, is the district still charged for 1,000 kids? The answer to that is no.
And then also staffing, how is that looking? Because I know for staffing, we've had issues in the past where we've had a long waiting list and we weren't able to fill a lot of our program, and therefore we were running a small number of
So
activities.
I'll take a lack of leadership with regards to the website. It's not updated. We're currently at 66 employees. We have more than 175 applications should this contract be approved. There are staff members that are currently in Greenfield that would come back to King City.
How many of those?
30.
You would pull from Greenfield and leave Greenfield in the lurch and pull it here?
No, we have actively hired and we've been actively onboarding. Our goal is to have, again, our goal is to make sure that we have local staff members impacting local kids. So for the purposes of Greenfield's contract, we have hired local Greenfield staff members to help fulfill that program. And we work on a daily basis with their teacher clubs.
And another question was, okay, so from those 175 applications, they do the para test, correct? No, go ahead.
So roughly, so what our contract does say is it says that we will take the food program. Pending the approval of the contract, we'll come back with a food program. And if that food program is approved, then we would move forward with providing food for the program. If not approved by the district, then the district would assume the responsibility of food. The additional impact at food would be at $7 per kid per meal, roughly $270,000. Correct. And there is our contract, if you look at it, again, we try to build our contract compliant with the rules of ACES. Those are the ones that are readily available, with 85% of the cost being direct cost to program impact and 15% being admin. The contract you're looking at is roughly, I believe, 12.8% admin. So it's very thin on the admin side. And I say that to say that there's not a profit built into the food program. The food program that we've looked at 2 of them. And those that's the cost of the food program. There's no administrative fee attached to that.
Any other questions?
I'm looking at the contract right now, and just if we were to do the math and if we're tripling, it's roughly around the same as what the pro youth, Dr. Ruby? If we do the math? Yeah, say we do the 1,000 with one program, we're roughly around the same, 3 million, right? Because the pro youth contract's at 1 million, 1.1, and that's only 360. So if we were to add to the 1,000 students, we're looking, yeah, exactly, exactly, yeah. Just putting like, trying to get like the wraparound on it. For the, okay.
You're including the summer program, so there's covers what summer would look like for everything, and the youth project only covers, or, I mean, pro youth only covers
our current school year, not including.
Okay, so it doesn't include the intercessions, like the winter break and,
It's separate.
okay, so I just to get that clarification then, so then the pro youth, we still would have to add the winter break, the spring camp, and then the summer camp.
Yeah, that's what we have here. It's to intercession after school.
Okay, it's both on there, and that's the one that's 1.1?
190,000 itself.
Okay.
If you look at the.
Okay, so it's both on there, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions for youth project? Okay, again, because this conversation is still going to keep on going, so make a motion for. Sure.
We need to know how many surveys. So instead of just being meaningful data, if we, hey, we send out X amount of surveys, then it be X amount of the surveys that were sent out. That will give us meaningful data. So I saying that you guys wanted to say session, I feel that you guys have a good sense of where community members, teachers, and feel on this topic, but if you're gonna do a meaningful study session, let's get meaningful data, let's have transparency.
Thank you.
To add to that, can we also get the questions that you guys asked the parents? So like the way you worded the questions and everything? Or
I'm
you
sorry,
can-
say that one more time?
Can you share the questions that you sent out to parents? It doesn't have to be today, but-
Can I email that to you? I'm happy to share the full survey and results.
I think it could be in the study session.
Yeah, in the study
Yes, in
session
the
is
study
fine.
session. But you made that notation, Joni? Thank you.
And I have another question.
Sure.
How much of our ELOP budget did we use last year without the youth project? Yeah, that's fine for next time. Like the percentage and all that.
So, thank you. I'm gonna make a motion to table it and till further discussion on the study session. And adding to that, can we see the other alternative of what was mentioned also price-wise for a district rent program? Thank you. And just just to put it on the teacher, well, district rent, not teacher rent, because the teachers have their own thing. In the past, how it was done, it was paras who worked the program, and then we had a teacher in charge overseeing, and that's how it used to be. I don't know what that whole new way would be, or even if a possibility, but just to put teacher rent is not necessarily always 100% teachers, because yes, we agree, sometimes the pays, that's what kind of drew our budget away with ACES during that 1 year, because San Lucia was the little guinea pig with that one. So again, trying to see like different options and what options we currently have.
Your motion?
I didn't make, oh, so then, I thought we made
To
it.
table it?
I'll make a motion to table this for further discussion at a study session.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Right, moving on to action item G, Harmony at Home. The reason I brought this up, again, with all these contracts going on, not saying I have an issue personally with Harmony at Home, but there does come a time where you do have to evaluate everything as a whole and see what is really working and beneficial for our district. So the reason I brought Harmony at Home into play is I would like to get feedback from administration. If it is positive feedback, great, we can continue, move on forward, and that's it. But I would like to know if this is truly working for our sites, any pros and cons, because now would be the time to look into if there's any other alternatives.
Before you ask further advice, I just want to remind you that we talked in our LCAP session about the future of Harmony at Home, and that we're kind of doing a tiered approach to mental health. So this year, the job description that you all just passed is for the mental health clinician. That's our tier 3 support.
So we did away with our MCBH general education contract and our community human services contract. And in place of those two services or programs, we are looking to hire our own tier 3 support. So we're starting with that. And then the next step would be looking at, and I've worked with Betty on this, of what this looks like, looking at hiring our own elementary counselors. So we're kind of on our way out of Harmony at Home. We just need to be prepared, and we need to have programs ready, for the counselors. We need to have the space ready. We need to have everything ready to go, because we've never had elementary counselors before. So I just wanted to remind you of that before.
So with continuing with Harmony at Home,
this year,
it would be this year or temporary while we think of something else.
Yeah, while we're getting everything in line to have the elementary counselors.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that was the only reason why I also felt the need to table this. But if you all do not feel that that is necessary and you want to move on forward, up to you all. But that was one of the reasons, just to see if we're looking into anything else. Sir, table or take an action now?
Well, keeping what we have, moving forward, it's not, do we have a timeline? Do we have a timeline?
So when we're dealing with student mental health, I want to make sure that we get it right. So I don't want to just roll it all out at one time. So we planned it out as a tiered approach. So we have you guys just approved the board or the job description. So that job posting will go out tomorrow. We need to get that person hired, and I'll work with that person to look at what we can provide, what we want to have our elementary counselors do. We've never had them before, so we want to get it right. So the idea is for this year to get it all set up, get everything ready to go, so we can start with them next year.
I'm good with approving it. The only thing that I do want to add to your 50 million task going on, the accountability of that program, because I know that last year we had issues at Delray, if I'm not mistaken, with the counselor not being there. So for our admin to actually come forward and bring their concerns when their counselor is not there, when they're actually scheduled to be there. Because if we're paying them their service and we have this big contract with them, well, the least that they could do is service our students when they're scheduled to be there.
So Betty put something in place last year for that, if you want to hear about it.
So this comes both as a parent and then as the fiscal director to have some kind of fiscal responsibility. So what I implemented was kind of a log with Harmony at Home, where we keep track of the kiddos that are being serviced at our campus. And that kind of came in hand because Jen and I had conversations about what the future looks like as a district and having our own counselors. So what Harmony at Home is doing now is providing logs on a monthly basis of the kiddos that are being serviced and time that their clinicians are spending also on other duties, admin duties. So we started this at the end of last fiscal year just to kind of get them started and used to that concept. And it's moving along to this fiscal year so we can keep that consistency. So we are holding our contractors accountable.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good thing. I think that's where we start moving towards as a district. More than anything, because they are a key part of the services. And I know that it was brought up last time that one of our sites wasn't receiving. So just making sure that, if we're getting billed for it, might as well be using the services. And I know that they have on leave. Well, they should be able to replace or give us somebody temporarily while that person's on leave. So
That was communicated with Harmony at Home.
So I guess I have to wait for Terry. Oh, I move to approve action item. I move to approve action item G, approval of Harmony at Home agreement.
I second.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah. All right, moving on to board communications.
what did we do last month? We didn't have a summer, but I didn't get the opportunity to go back to you guys' welcome back. So welcome back. Hopefully, this year is a better year and we do new things and better things. And let's just make the best of whatever we have as Keene City Union School District. So I did have the opportunity to visit First Tee and the Youth Project during summer. I actually left work early to be able to come out here. When I was there, I saw, and again, I'm not diminishing anybody's concerns or anything. When I was there, I got to see them do ice cream. It was in the afternoon, so I did get to see the older kids. We did go over to the pools. At First Tee, we went over to their little area club on top. I did notice at First Tee had a very few students. But it was nice to be able to see the students doing an activity, keeping them busy, whether it's at the pools, wherever it was. I think ultimately, that's providing a safe environment for them. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for the walkthrough. It was great. Again, and I think this is just something that's very common that, I guess as board members, we're always going to see the perfect. So, and I think that's just something and we want to make it clear moving forward as well. Wherever we visit, we actually want to see the raw truth. We're not there to judge any teacher. We're not there to judge any site administrator. We're not there to do any of that. We want to see the raw truth because at the end of the day, we want to see what can we do to help you guys improve. Ultimately, that's our goal. Our goal here is to improve what we have and make better decisions. So I think that when we visit sites, it's not show us the perfect. No, we want to see the raw, because I think that's just, and I know we have to communicate. And so it's just, in my opinion, I'd rather see the raw because that's just how life is. We're not always going to see the perfect classroom or the perfect classroom management. We're always going to see a student walking while the teacher's giving instruction. I think it's just how life is. So I think moving forward, I just want you guys to know that when we're out there, we're not going to be there to judge you, or we're not going to be there to pinpoint problems. We're just going to be there to see the raw and see what we as a board can come back and bring back to change. Again, one person's not going to change anything. Whoever one of us, 4 or 5, we're not going to change it. But we can ask those questions as well. But again, we need to be able to have that open communication and, moving forward as a district and doing what's best for our kids, which is our main goal at the end of the day. So thank you guys for everything.
I have not been able to go visit, but I'm going to try to go sometime next week. I will let Audra know so that way she emails you guys before I go visit. But same with him, what he said, I'm not there to judge anyone because I know I've gone to some classroom with newer teachers that don't know me and they panic, and I'm not there to judge. I'm just there to visit and see the students. And I've only been to one classroom, but that was because of my nephew's birthday. So that was a little bit different. But other than that, I have nothing else to report right
now. Really quick on my end, last month, being our board president, as well as myself and our legal, headed over to that fabulous meeting over at Sacramento for the unification. The reason I bring that up is I did let Audra and Jody know if they could please put it on the regular board meeting, because discussions do need to start happening if and when the voters say yes to this unification, so we can be prepared. But just for him to give you all the knowledge of what's going on and just give more feedback in regards to our next steps and what's going on moving forward with that. So just be prepared. It might be in every single meeting. We may just talk briefly about it and just continue moving forward, but it is something I thought was important to continue to address. That is, we're already heading into September. So elections are coming. It'll be elections obviously for 3 seats within our school district, as well as having the joint district as well. So for those who did not know, those who are currently in the high school board and the elementary board have the opportunity to go for both at the same time and work for both districts at the same time, until, if voters say yes, the elementary and high school will dissolve and only the joint will remain. But in the meantime, they can go for both. So you do have some candidates from the high schools who are planning to run for both. And then you do have some from here as well that are planning to go for both as well. So it's a crucial time. We have many things hitting us left and right. We have programs hitting us left and right. And like Tony had mentioned in regards to looking into the logistics of things and looking into a brand new program who is wanting to bring, new things to our kids, which at the end of the day, that's what we all talked that we needed and wanted for our kids, expanded learning, right? Be able to grow, but to what extent and to what cost? So that's where I'm trying to look at everything and just see what is the best. We always are going to make mistakes. We're going to fail one way or another, right? Nobody's perfect, but we try our best, right? And so with Pro Youth, again, my kids as well, we're all part of Pro Youth growing up through the way to high school. So I understand the connections that Pro Youth has within it, but it's just looking at everything as a whole, looking at all the logistics and maybe making tweaks to the contract in itself if there's anything that needs to be added, right? We got clarification for Harmony at Home. So these type of discussions need to happen. And if they do not happen, in a way represents that we do not care. And I, for myself, would not want others to see that from me personally, because I do. And I'm pretty sure everybody in this room as well. So again, look for more information on that for unification and steps to follow. Other than that, I have nothing else. We will go ahead and move on to advanced planning. No other comments, right? We do have our regular board meeting scheduled for September 15th. We need to schedule dates. Now, should we schedule it for the hearing as well? All right, so, and the study session as well. So for study session, if next week, if y'all are available, I was looking at the calendar right now, if y'all are available for the 26th in the afternoon, I would be available. In the evening, if y'all wanted to do the study session, I know it might take time for y'all to hear back from CSEA in regards to the hearing, or?
No, actually, I have information.
Okay.
Currently, they would like to have the hearing rescheduled before the end of this month. And for reasons, the person that's running on that end is retiring. And so they would like to not have to transition to somebody else taking it over. And then additionally, I did hear back from our attorney, and she offered her availability this Thursday from 4:30 on, or any day next week from 4:30 on. So we might want to look at the hearing first and then the study session.
I can't do the 26th. I have back to school night.
Okay, how about the 20th that she was mentioning?
The 20th.
I can too.
That's for CSEA?
CSEA, but I can do that at 5:30. I can come early. Okay, okay.
I'm assuming you guys will reach out to Vina and Susan.
For the study session, okay, so that was for CSEA, the 20th?
Yes.
5:30. For the study session, for the contracts. I'm assuming you would like also be available during those dates. So how does it look like for these upcoming weeks for you all? Well, I was, but you're not going to be available,
I won't be
correct?
available the 26th.
Okay.
Mine's
Sorry,
Wednesday, the 26th.
Wednesday, the 26th. Sorry.
Wednesday, the 26th, yeah. I can do Wednesday, the 26th.
I'm available anytime. No, I'm available anytime.
Okay.
Looking at your I think your schedule's the one that's a little bit more
Mine's the one that's
complicated.
crazy. Are y'all open to any day within this next week? Tuesday, the 25th? Wednesday, the 26th?
Do we want to do it that quick? Are we gonna send out surveys? Are we gonna gather the information? That might just push it very
Would you like to
short.
do it for 2 weeks then?
Yeah,
So the week, that would bring it down to the week of
September.
Labor Day weekend time frame. So I'm not,
We can do anywhere from August 31st and on if you want, or the Labor Day week.
yeah,
September 1st,
31st through the 4th, September 1st,
it's a Tuesday.
Tuesday. September 1st.
I have a question. With the study session, are we gonna make
Huh?
another special board meeting to vote or wait until September?
Hopefully to vote on that already. She was asking if it would be for vote as well as, well, hopefully it's to.
Yeah,
come to
hopefully
an
we'll
answer already
get
that
all
day,
of
yes.
our data and all of our, if we can get the information, so if we do have questions, we can be prepared and get them over to you, so we are ready to go that day.
Okay.
That would be great.
I'm saying because we can't vote in this,
In the special?
in a study session.
Oh, yeah, we can't vote on a study session.
That's why I was asking, are we gonna make us another special board meeting or?
Well, the next regular board meeting will be on the
On the
the
15th.
15th. That would be another 2 weeks.
But it gives
So we would need
gives
to
us
make
enough
a-
time to be able to gather, have whatever discussion we have. And then if we end up having questions last minute, it gives us that for action items.
So are y'all good with having it September well, I'm not sure.
September
Mr. Sensi.
1st, I believe it was.
You're good for September 1st? That would be for the study session, ladies? Study session?
Can I also get a backup date for the hearing, just in case their legal is not available on the 20th for the week of the 24th through the 28th?
The 25th?
I'm open any day except the 26th.
I think there's this high school meeting on the 25th.
So the
I
24th?
think. 27th.
If it, well,
27th?
actually, if it's for the CSEA hearing and we have a quorum, you don't need me for that one.
Oh, that's true.
So you guys can essentially do the 26th for that hearing.
If we get enough other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and since you're available?
So what if we do 25, 26? Because if Vina and Susan are available, like on the 25th, and you all are good with that,
Yeah.
great. If not,
Yeah.
I'm available on Wednesday. So
Yeah, that's fine, because since it's a CSEA hearing, as long as you have a quorum,
Yes.
you don't
That's
need me
correct.
for that one.
All right.
Okay.
So the 20th, and then tentative will be 25, 26. Study session for September the 1st
At what time?
that's not the holiday. No, it'll still be
It's not.
5:30 for me.
Okay.
5:30, I'm sorry, I didn't even look at that way. 5:30. 5:30 will work, Ms. Minton? Okay. Are we good? All right, we got all our dates together?
Oh, welcome Audra and welcome Arlen. Motion to adjourn.